people who don't know you,
Yeah.
give us a little background on yourself.
I am the son of two doctors, and so a lot of people expected me to be some super doctor, like I could just lay hands on people and just heal, but that wasn't my path, and so now I'm on the path of a purpose finder. That's my superhero name. That's the path that I'm creating for myself every single day in collaboration with the universe, and I help individuals and organizations get clarity on their passions, their purpose, and actually help them make a living doing what they love. So on an individual side, that could be consulting, that could be coaching, that could be e-courses, that could be my actual live courses. On a business side, that could be going in, looking at what it is that the organization loves, looking at their assets, and really trying to figure out how to monetize those and create new revenue streams for the organization. So that's the core of my work right now, and I've been doing it full time for over 2 years now, and it's just been an enjoyable journey.
Because some people, are adamant at doing things like this. It's like, I don't need a life coach. I don't need a person to help me find what I'm supposed to be. So how do you get them to trust you?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. It's something that I wrestle with every single day as you think about this notion of lead generation or whatever. But trust actually gets developed by the way I've done it is just by giving. Just giving. So I'll put all kinds of inspirational quotes on Facebook. You've probably seen that come through your news feed. I will write blog posts. I put a lot of thought, energy into that. On their own, transform people's lives. I'll give people PDFs like my Jay-Z and Warren Buffett PDF on success and things like that. So I'll create these tools that I wanted to create for myself, but then rather than them just living on my hard drive, I'll share them as widely as possible. And so after you've gotten a few things from me that have helped change the way you thought about your life, now that trust is built, and then people actually come to me and they ask for support because they want to go deeper in a certain area of their lives. So
do you take on every client that you come in contact with? Like, is that an easy task?
Oh, it's not an easy task. There's a whole big audience that I have through my blogs, through Facebook, and things like that. But then only a few trickle down into clients. And so right now, in terms of on the organization side, I have two main clients. I have actually stepped away from the individual side because people haven't been able to afford the time, my time. And when I think about it, like, my time is my most valuable thing. And I think as we're in this internet age, there's been this struggle between expecting online content to be free and things of that nature, when a lot of thought energy and spiritual energy is going into creating something. So I've been wrestling in my own journey with creating business models for the individual market. And I really believe in the notion of partnership, and so when I go into an organization, I know that I'm not only impacting the organization, I'm impacting everybody in the organization and all the people the organization serves. So last year I went on tour with the National Society of Collegiate Scholars, and it was called the Route 66 tour, where I was teaching college students 66 things they must do before graduation. And I could have tried to do that on my own and go knock on doors at college campuses and say, come bring me to speak. But instead, I took that idea, I planted it in an organization that already had this reach. And therefore, the idea spread faster than I could have spread it on my own.
Give me 3 of the 66 things people should do before they go to
graduate.
college.
So one of them is read a spiritual text from cover to cover. That was one of the things that just transformed my whole mindset during that time when I was at UCLA. Another one is write a business plan. Even if you're not expecting to be an entrepreneur, just the process of writing a business plan just really gets you thinking in terms of how the company that is going to hire you after you graduate really thinks about business, because you always want to demonstrate that you're creating more value than you take, right? And then another thing is interview your grandparents, or study abroad, or visit your country of cultural origin. These are some other things on the list. But what's exciting is that in March, in less than 30 days, I have a new book coming out called 101 Things to Do Before Graduation. I co-wrote that with a sister named Patricia Hudak, and that's going to be on bookshelves in March, so I'm excited about that.
So aside from motivational speaking and helping people, what are some of your other passions?
Some of my other passions, breaking bread with people. I love hosting potluck dinners at home. Yes, so I was doing that monthly, but as I got on the road last year, I kind of got out of my rhythm because I was traveling so much. But I love breaking bread with people, and that could be in as full living rooms or just one-on-one. Mm-hmm. So it really hearing people's stories, hearing how they got to where they are and where they see themselves going forward. That's one of my joys. I love watching The Office. It's one of my favorite shows. It's one of my favorite shows. So I watch The Office. I've been into NBA basketball this year. Excited, especially with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and the Heat, and what's going on with the Celtics and the Lakers. I'm excited about that. March Madness is right around the corner. I don't watch college basketball during the season, but March Madness, I definitely love it. And then outside of that, no, it's really just breaking bread with people and writing, of course. I mean, like I said, this is going to be my 4th book, and I never consider myself a writer. Maybe it's just more so packaging ideas, but I love putting ideas out there that can actually turn into movements. And so that's where the 30-Day Do It, that's how it reached you, is that I try to take a simple idea and make it so simple that anybody could use it. So
it was amazing.
I'm glad to hear that. Yes.
So we have 2 of your books here.
Yeah.
8 Cylinders of Success.
Yes.
And The Good Excuse Goals.
Yes.
Tell us about those.
So the 8 Cylinders of Success is my first book, and it took me 3 years to write this one. The original title was You Can't Google Purpose. Mm-hmm. But then I asked Google if I could use their name in the title, and they were like, technically you can Google Purpose. And I was like, whatever. So I changed the title. And I based the book on the premise that your life is your vehicle to design, drive, and maintain. But a lot of people in that backseat driving through life are driving other people's vehicles. And my commitment as a purpose finder is to help people get back in the driver's seat of their lives and install their GPS, which is their purpose. Because the way a GPS works is when you're lost, you just tune back into it, and it helps you find your path to your next destination. But the world is evolving so quickly that the landscape of life is also changing, and therefore these 5-year, 10-year plans that we used to have and used to work, they don't hold true anymore because the world has changed in 1 year, right? So the most important thing you can have in a world that is very uncertain is your GPS or your purpose. So that's what that's all about. And then the Good Excuse Goals is actually the blueprint behind the 30-Day Do It movement. It's the methodology and the reason why the 30-Day Do It movement is actually transforming people's lives. It just lays out the psychology of motivation and how sometimes we have to trick ourselves into getting things done. We have structure in school, we have structure in work, but when it comes to our personal lives, there's no structure, right? And we wonder why we get more done in life for other people than we do for ourselves. So the whole 30-Day Do It is about helping you get more structure in your life around your personal goals so that you can actually be as productive in your own life as you are for other people. I mean, you have a new online magazine, you moved to New York successfully. Some people have been thinking about moving to New York for 5 years now, right? And so even this book, I wrote it in 30 days. This one took 3 years, and this one, using this methodology, I wrote it in 30 days. So that just shows the power of it.
So where can we find you?
JulienGordon.com, JullIen, Gordon, GORDON.com. There's the 30daydoit.com as well, and CareerChangeChallenge.com.
Great. Thanks, Julien, for coming through.
Thank you for having me again.
With me.
No problem.
I'm glad to finally meet you.
Yes.
So aside from the 30-day program, what other programs do you offer?
Yes.
How can I really do this if the economy won't allow me?
I call it being underemployed, right? A lot of it has to do with spending habits, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not asking you to quit your job and just be in this space of emptiness, but it's really about positioning yourself for what is next. And you could be making $200,000. We don't think like that because we want these sexy jobs as opposed to jobs
big names.
that are going to create meaning for us as well as money. So as well as allow us to live the lifestyle that we want. Because